Hi guys. Before continuing this session, I recommended to watch part 2. So let's begin. So today I'm going to explain if user check in wrong source code within our Git repository. So developer going to do any wrong check-in like say compilation errors like any by mistake they do check-in. So mostly they don't do, but unfortunately something they did means a wrong source code within the source control. So how our Jenkins going to build and throw to errors in the pipeline job. Today I'm going to show that thing as well as how to deploy the Angular application and web API application within the IIS server. So as well as I'm going to explain deep explanation with that how this entire pipeline Groovy syntax going to work for this job. So that I'm going to explain today. So let's flip to Visual Studio Code. So this is my Angular application. So let's assume we'll create one syntactical error like I removing yes. So if you're trying to build this, it will going to throw error. Let's try to build. ng build. So it will throw the error. It's taking time to build the see it's throw the error in app component cannot be used as a entry point. So our build is failed. So I'm going to check in the source code in Git repository. So what happens if I did with the Jenkins pipeline, how it's going to throw the same error in the Jenkins console window. So flip to my repository, Git repository. This is my Git repository. I'm copying. So I'm flip to Git repository. So right now I am in Git repository. So let's check my Git status. Whatever I changed, changes will going to show or not. Here Git status will going to help us. See, in my previous video, I set up the web API project like how to do the UAT configuration with the help of the transform config file. As well as right now I changed the app component. So let's see, this is my I modified Angular SRC app component. So these are remaining changes I did in previously. So meanwhile I will change SQL also. So if I written some SQL wrong query, then whatever. So I will go to SQL scripts. I will open this one. Open with Notepad. So if you have SQL, means you can use SQL editor also. So let's say I'm removing like comma, means it will throw the syntactical error. Even though user check in this syntactical error within the Git repository, how our script going to throw the error to user. So I'm closing. So let's check to our git status again. See, again we modified in this script also this came. So now we'll go and add the changes to git. So click by adding git add. So these files are going to add. Then after I'm going to commit. Once I click on commit, then I'm pushing my entire source code to git repository. Oh, I see. I did wrong. I given the space in so this is my wrong syntax. There is no space in master. I'm going to check in master branch. So I'm pushing my source code to git repository. Git push origin. Push origin master. See, I check into the app component file. So I check in the source code 2 days back. That too. What changes is came 35 seconds ago. See, already source code is committed in git repository. Sorry. See, there is a syntax error. User did check in like this. So right now we are going to execute this. We are going to build this Angular app through through Jenkins. You can back. One more we'll need a SQL also. I see 3 minutes ago. Just now I checked in this code. So there is no comma here, syntactical error in this script. So how this error is going to have shown in our Jenkins below if we are running in pipeline job. Let's click on apply and save. So I'm clicking in both. See, get the one commit latest source code committed by. I think my application went offline. See, application backup is completed. Let's flip to backup location. Sorry. See, this is my backup locations. I'm creating one folder here. I'm entire maintenance of DB backup. This is my previous DB backup, today's DB backup, as well as this is my service backup. Sorry, this is my service backup, as well as this is my web Angular application backups. This is my Angular backups. So this is backup, and this is my database. I don't have any database. This is my web API IIS location. This is Angular application IIS location. So I will explain later these things. So let's go to build. See here, Angular application right now it's in testing phase. Before testing any Angular application, it's going to build the application. See, it will throw the exceptions. Even it's executing. If you are executing any test, if you are executing any test cases in the Angular, even though it's going to throw the exceptions, because before executing the test cases, it's going to build the application internally. Once build is successfully, then only it's going to execute the test cases. See here, what here is going to throw the exception, and based on last code, this it will execute in the npm node.js console. Whatever they written in node.js console, it's by PowerShell is going to convert like a node.js console. It will run, and it will whatever the last results is shown, it will going to catch. If any exceptions occurred, it's going to log the exceptions in the console. See, right now I'm getting the system automation remote exception. Sorry. Catch is fired. I think exact message is not captured. Be something issue. Let's say we'll comment this test case and check it out in build stage how it's going to, it will throw a exact exception or not. In this session I am not calling any there is no let's assume there is no test cases, directly build. So click on okay, it's full the source code. See, there is no pipe. I commented that testing phase, testing stage. I will let you know why it's going to not logging exact exception message in this Jenkins console window. See, here also it's not captured exact exception message. Why it's not I think I written something wrong in the script. However, I will let you know later once I get the time, and I will check it out internally, and I will let you know. Next, now I am going to do I'm going to check in the exact source code in my Git repository. See, my changes is I posted in Git repository. So flip to console and I will uncomment the testing phase. This is my build stage. Now I written the wrong script. So how this while executing the SQL script, how it's going to throw the exceptions in the Jenkins console window. Let's click on build. So let's check the logs. All the backups are started again. Now testing, Angular application testing is started, as well as if you are selecting web API means web API testing also is started here. See, test cases is all the test cases is executed, all the success, and after that web API person Angular web API services take the backup. After that web API, if you written in this, it's going to execute. After that Angular build, third stage is build. It will do the parallel. If you are selecting the both projects, means it will build the both parallelly one by one in the corresponding stages. Here build is Angular build is successfully and deployed corresponding in deploy location. So NuGet packages means if you have web API means we definitely we need to go to restore the NuGet packages. After that application web API build is started. Once build is started, build is successfully, and now database deployment stage. In this stage, input is required before continuing this stage. So in which scripts you want to execute, in which portion of the scripts you want to execute in that our local workspace to corresponding corresponding server. So I'm going to give in the folder name like, so click on OK. See, SQL scripts is backup, SQL application backup is completed successfully. After that, we will get the syntax error, incorrect syntax error, last name, incorrect syntax near last. So here we are logging the exact exception message. I written based on this SQL exception. I written that the try catch block and logging the exceptions here. I didn't check that npm is how that error is going to log in the console window. Once I am checking that in my local, I will let you know that thing. The exceptions are logged properly. So let's Let's flip to Git. This is my Git repository. I'm going to run. I'm going to roll back my changes. So this is right now it's proper syntax. Now I'm pushing my source code to Git. Status one file. Adding. I added complete successfully. Sorry. Let's flip to Jenkins window. Click on build with parameters. So how to deploy the Angular applications in IIS? Right now our build is going to smoothly. So let's flip to IIS. See, still my application is down because right now I build is started. See, this is my currently running Angular app. This is web API application. Let's check. If you are deploying any Angular application, means if you're going to any Angular application, we can put in web.config. Sorry, and in C drive init pub in this www root. You can create it here also. Otherwise, you can give the any another folder in the your any another working directory, either C drive or D drive. You can give and now get that. You can use that location as our IIS deployment location. You can utilize and you can run our applications in IIS server also. So right now I am giving the path like my IIS this Angular app deployments C drive Angular builds web API and QA. Let's flip to this location. This is my location. In this location, if you are pushing any source code from Angular application, if you are using a Angular application build based on that configuration, it will enable to uh, generate the artifacts. It will generate the artifacts like remaining self, excluding web API and app underscore offline and div. Whatever I added here, I added one app offline config file. So it will this file is not going to generate that mm, after build. It will not going to publish this artifact in that destination location. Uh, so we can do that thing by setting somewhere here, and we can generate this file also in to this file also to generate the while building. We need to add this file also to generate the one this file as one artifact in the destination location. We can do I hope we can do with the help of the Angular. We can add somewhere, I don't know exactly, uh, in that Angular JSON file. We can do this. We can add here, I think, somewhere. So that is my deployment location. let's check our app still running. The testing is completed. This is my IIS deployment location. I given the path I written in host and host entry Angular QA app.net. It will run under the localhost with a different name, whatever you give it. See, my build is successful. All the database scripts is executed successfully. There is no exception. So let's check our application is went live mode or not. See, my application went live mode. Let's check our API. This is my API. See, I get the data also. This is my API is active. In this API is consuming this data with the help of that web API. Let's flip to IIS. This is my Angular app destination path. Go to contents view. See, I added I downloaded a URL root. I added URL root to handle the any request from the user. How we are going to navigate corresponding root file in the Angular. Angular means it's a single set of file. It's going to navigate one page another like that. So whatever the requests are roots are matched. So we need to navigate the corresponding page with the help of it's going to help us to URL root. So URL root I added. So go to contents. Sorry, here. While building the Angular app, it will generate the other than app offline .html and web.config file. So I added this location forcefully before deploying. Once you are adding, no need to change every time these files. Whenever you need to change the configuration file, then only we need to change. Otherwise, not required to change. I think it's not required to change Angular configuration file every time in the AES. So let's check this config file. See, I written whatever the request match or all the request match to in this domain. Any request is matching to means it's automatically navigate to by default navigate to this application. You can return which page you want to display directly. We can navigate directly from here. So if you are using a Angular build, so Angular, if you are using any Angular build, means it will destroy all the destination location, and it will delete by default it's delete all the deployment location path, whatever we have in that files. It's going to delete, and again it will generate the latest artifacts. So it's by default do the thing. Sorry. So in this ng build, by default it will delete all the files in the destination path. In this ng, by default it will delete all the files in this path. After that, it will generate the fresh artifacts in this location. So I don't want to delete all the artifacts in that location, because I added external files like a web.config file and angular app offline file. So I am stopping this delete output for false, and uh, so whatever the files you added previously, it's not going to delete every time, it's going to update every time, whatever the artifacts coming from that ng build. So if we can overcome this thing by adding the mm, Angular application with some of the configuration in app.json file. I hope we can do here. I don't know exactly. I will check it out later. So like that. Next, we will flip to how to publish the web API application. Web API application. I am following the file system configuration. I am following file system approach to publish my artifacts in the corresponding location. So I'm generating one profile. Step. Go to properties, publish profile. I am generating the one profile, publish profile. In this profile, see, this is file system publish method. We have three approaches we can do any one of the way. I am choosing the file system approach. So this is, I already told my previous video, this is my configuration. Basically it will work as a release mode, QA nothing but it will different environments with a different configuration within the release mode. So this is my publish URL where I need to publish my artifacts. This is my IIS location. Same, this location is similar to this API service. Let's go to and check it out. This is path. This is my publish. I don't want to delete the existing file by default. It will going to add the files. I think here I didn't add any external files from here because I'm using web transform config. It's automatically merge the configuration data as per the environment. The QA environment means it's going to configure the QA environment data. If we are QA environment related configuration, and if you are using UAT means UAT related configuration data is going to applicable. This is my this is my API. Once you did in Angular application, we have one more like one of the concept like environment. And so, if you are using different environments, QA means you can consume the service from the different environment like QA. If you are using if there is a relation with your application, whatever Angular application and corresponding web API service, that changes is there. So you want to consume, you want to test the application in different environments with corresponding web API environment service. So we can if you are using in QA environment build means we can consume the QA service in this QA web API related services in this application. If you are using development, prod means you can use the prod services. So if you are using dev, you can use the development environment URL. You can write here and you can consume our based on the environment. We can give the URL and we can consume that corresponding environment service here. So this is my service. So in if you want to use the corresponding environment service means we need to import that environment library. in environment file. So here this is my environment. This is my service URL. Here I am picking the I am appending that entire service URL into API URL. So I am giving the reference here. Instead of writing a hard coding here, I am consuming the services based on the runtime. Means whatever we deployed in the service in the corresponding environment, means we can consume that services in corresponding environment services by using this environment.ts files. Uh, Next, pipeline Groovy syntax. How written in pipeline Groovy syntax. Let's flip to configure. Go to pipeline Java. See, I am using like a pipeline agent. In this, I declared one environment. Like I need to pass them this like a project environment. So whatever the project user selected in this project environment, either QA UAT to whatever I written the file in this batch file. Sorry, in this PowerShell script, I am passing here variables deployment environment and which stage and project names and DB path. I mean DB path nothing but whatever the user given the input in the database and deployment stage. That input I am going to use here. So this deployment, whatever the user selected projects and user input, I am setting this 3 as environment variable in this pipeline environment variable. So in this first stage, I'm getting the source code from Git. So just I'm taking the source code from Git. I am not clearing my workspace. If you are using Angular application, means you can if you are using Angular application as well as you clearing the your source code workspace every time. So in this time we need to restore the packages in that Angular package.json file. Whatever the packages is there, we need to install every time, and after installing, then only we are able to do the execution, build the project. Without packages, we are unable to build the project. So we can if you are clearing the workspace, means it's very no no problem. It's time consuming to execute the to download the every time packages in the corresponding application and run the application Angular application. So right now I am not clearing the any workspace. So once I am downloading, it will work every time. My suggestion is we need to clear the workspace and we need to install the package based on the packages configuration what they written in that package.json file. That package versions dev dependencies are is going to download automatically. We need to download automatically, then only we will go to the build. Suppose you after the developer is change the package configuration, means if you are using old, means you will get the compilation errors in the while building the Angular application. So my suggestion is we need to restore the packages every time based on that package.configuration JSON file. So here, so in my previous video, I explained like how to restore reinstall all the packages corresponding the Angular application. Let's move to here. See, this piece of code will help us to install every time the packages in the corresponding workspace location. So yesterday I get in my previous session I get the exceptions exception warning also. I am getting the exception in PowerShell because might be my PC problem somewhere around like that. I will check it out and I will update this error message how to handle that warning messages. If I am getting the warning message, means the PowerShell window in PowerShell is going to throw the error, it considering as a error, even though it's warning. So how to overcome that scenario, I will explain later. So using this thing, you need to restore the every time while running the job. That is major recommended solution for that. So let's flip to pipeline job. So this is my testing phase in Angular testing. Whatever the user selected, I am a user selected deployment environment and project names. I have three projects. I am in that three projects where the user going to select this thing. Here I am passing this params to my PowerShell application. See, this is my script. This is my PowerShell path where this is my PowerShell location file path. I am using only one PowerShell file, building the entire application, build and deployment. I'm passing the environments to this PowerShell. So right now I am using I'm passing the four parameters. One is param 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you are passing, if you have four params, you can pass 1, 2 means it will consider as a only first two parameters. The remaining remaining 3, 4 parameter consider as a empty if you are not passing. So if you no, it's not required to pass no fourth parameter. No, it's not. In my case, is not required. Even though I am passing, if you are without passing like this also, uh, we can build the project. We can able to build the project because the fourth parameter is nothing but db path here. This is considering as db path. So suppose you want to pass first one and last one, means we must and should we need to pass these two parameters as empty or something any date unnecessary date. Otherwise it will without otherwise we need to give this some space. Sorry, parameter hyphen like that we can empty data we can pass. Otherwise it will consider as a, if you pass only two parameters means db path, it will consider as a stage. Stage is not it will consider as that whatever the input is considering as it assigned to stage variable, stage param. So like that I am passing, it's not an issue. So in my third step is build and deployment. So in this build and deployment step, also same, I am passing same thing, project name, environment, and here is stages I changed. Entire data is same. So I am passing the same param one, means name of the environment, name of the project, and stage is different. I am passing the build. I hard coded here. No need to pass dynamically here. Stage is common. Before creating any job, we're setting some hard-coded values. So here I'm passing same thing here, same Angular, same script file in this environment also. In this environment, it's going to build the if you are selecting the Angular app and web API, it's going to build the two application one by one. First, it's going to build the Angular app application. After build and deploy the Angular app. After that, it's going to build the web API application and deploy that web API application in the corresponding destination location. My fourth stage is database deployment. So database is single database. So in database, I am defining one input variable, input parameter. So before continuing this stage, if user must enter this thing, then only this build uh, going to success. In this environment also, I am passing the three params to the PowerShell script. So I have declared three environment variable. I am converting that into environment variable, and I am passing this variable to this PowerShell scripts file. So in this stage is my, I hard coded like database is my stage. This is my project name. So this is my DB path. So I am passing four variable like this in my PowerShell script, and I am executing the all the corresponding steps in based on the users given the build parameter, whatever the user given the build parameters corresponding, it's going to execute. you can say. This is all about mm, this is all about this session. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, and feel free and contact given mail ID, given mail or in LinkedIn. Uh, I'm not commercial. Guy, just as per I knowledge, I explained this stuff. If you have any suggestions to me, you can give to me. I will update myself. This entire process, if I did anywhere wrong, and feel free and update me. I no need to charge anything. It's free. Means I'm doing just for fun, and I'm sharing my knowledge only. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.